When you first receive your remote control, you will need to activate the battery. There is a clear plastic tab at the bottom of the remote. You'll simply need to pull that out. And after doing this, the remote should work. Now on the back of the remote is a round access shield. Removing that will reveal the house code dial. If you are not changing it from the default 0 setting, you can leave it alone. Now that you're ready to use it, let's review the buttons. At the top of the remote are zone buttons. You will see Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4, and Z5. Each one corresponds to a zone. You will only need to press the zone button corresponding to zones you have set up. The remote will come preset to Zone 1. If you are only operating one zone, you should not need to press the zone button prior to changing audio, light, or source settings. But anytime your remote functions are not working on your active zone, you may want to press that zone button again just to make sure it is in the active zone. The AZ button. The All Zones button is used when you want to adjust settings on all the zones in your house at the same time. This function will only work for zones playing the same source. If you are in a room playing a specific source and use the AZ button, all zones playing that source will take the setting changes. Zones that are playing a different source will ignore those commands. The assumption being that if you are listening to a different source, you don't want to have your settings changed for that zone. Audio section. The top 3 buttons change the audio volume. Minus reduces the volume. Plus increases the volume. And the speaker with an X through it mutes the volume. Source buttons. The bottom 3 buttons in the audio section of the remote adjust which source is playing. S1 for source 1, S2 for source 2, and S3 for source 3. Note, you can also adjust volume in most cases by using your source device and adjusting the volume from it. So you may want to optimize your ability to change volume by turning the volume all the way up on either your source device or the remote control before using the other device to control the volume. For instance, if your laptop is at half volume, no matter how many times you press the plus button on the remote, the maximum will be 50% of the computer's potential volume. Also, if your source device is on mute, you will not get any audio out of the MusicLites. Lighting. The bottom 3 buttons of the remote adjust light levels. They work similarly to the audio buttons, with minus lowering light levels, plus raising light levels, and the light bulb icon turning the lights on and off. Another note, if you turn the lights off with the remote, it will not affect audio. If you turn lights off at the outlet, you will have no power to the MusicLites, so you won't get any audio. We do not recommend MusicLites to be operated on wall-mounted dimmers. Actually, in most instances, you will find that the MusicLites will not dim, but will continue to play audio until light levels on the dimmer are turned very low, less than 20% of max. Of course, you can then use the remote to dim the MusicLites to match the other lights on the dimmer. The remote control itself is powered by a CR2025 coin cell battery. To replace the battery, turn the remote face down, locate the battery tray, pinch tension lock towards center of tray, pull out the tray to allow removal of the old battery, insert the new battery flat side up, and slide the tray back into the remote until it clicks.